If you're thinking about retirement, you don't want to miss this video. Thousands of retirees are packing their bags and they're moving to states that offer sunshine, affordability, and a vibrant lifestyle. Now look, you want your retirement years to be the best years of your life, right? But how do you pick the right state? So by the end of this video, you'll understand why these states are popular with retirees and whether they could actually make sense for you when you're thinking about your retirement. So without further ado, here's the top states in descending order. Number 5, Texas. Now, it's been a popular destination for retirees for a while now. And one of the biggest draws, and often the first thing that people mention, is that Texas has no state income tax. But beyond tax benefits, Texas generally offers a lower cost of living compared to expensive coastal states on either side of the United States. Now, while this can vary depending upon where you're looking, overall everyday expenses are more manageable. Now, housing is still relatively affordable in many areas as well. The median home price in Texas right now is about $342,000, which is cheaper than the national average. But real estate taxes tend to be on the high side. With that being said, you need to watch out for some of the bigger hidden costs. Texas has some of the highest property tax rates in the country, so even if you find a cheaper home, your annual tax bill could be significantly higher. So if you're thinking about moving a little further out to save on home prices, just know that rural areas also come with private water and septic systems. And they work fine, but they can get expensive if repairs are needed. And if you're moving to the city or suburban neighborhoods, you will find that HOA fees in Texas are a pretty common thing. And usually they'll run between $150 to $400 a month. Next up on our list is number 4, Florida. Now, what's surprising about this state is it was ranked number 1 last year. But now the rising cost of insurance and skyrocketing cost of living have clearly hurt the appeal. And for many retirees, Florida has become a harsh reality for some. Now, if you've been following me here on this channel, you know what's going on. And yes, there's no income tax in the state. But recently, a lot of retirees have been finding out the hard way that Florida has become a money pit, sucking much of their retirement income. And it's not just the cost of the house, guys, it's all the other expenses. The outflow for many retirees who keep on calling me and telling me they're leaving the state, it is amazing. Yet at the very same time, people are still retiring to Florida. It's a great place. Now, I've said this in a recent video, Florida's market isn't made for regular buyers anymore. It's built for people with big money. And cash buyers are now dominating the Florida real estate market. Even if you buy a home there, the skyrocketing cost to own is catching up with many who have retired years ago to Florida. Why is this happening? It's because of the growing risk from hurricanes and wildfires, with the average annual premium now between $6,000 and $12,000 a year. And some homeowners that I personally know have been paying as much as $16,000 a year just for insurance. And if you're near the coast, you may need to purchase additional flood insurance as well. Now, the biggest issue is really hitting home when people need it the most. Insurance companies are denying thousands and thousands of claims. So the dream of rainbows and sunshine in Florida, it's been fading away for some. But one thing's for sure, if you're thinking about buying a condo in Florida, think twice, because the condo market in Florida is in a free fall right now. The number of condos for sale is skyrocketing. There are now over 8 months supply available, which is about 50% jump compared to last year. With all this extra inventory, prices are likely to drop even further. Coming in at number 3, we have Tennessee. Now, this state has been rising fast on a lot of retirees' lists. Now, first off, Tennessee doesn't have a state income tax. That's a big win if you're living on a set income in retirement, because you won't be paying extra state taxes with that money. Plus, things here generally cost less compared to many other places in the United States, in both cities and countryside areas. And the scenery, it's beautiful. And you've got mountains, you've got lakes, rivers, and lots of nature to enjoy without the super high prices that you generally see near the coasts. But I want to talk about what you really need to keep your eye on cost-wise. As of March 2025, the average price to buy a house in Tennessee is around $297,500. That's quite a bit cheaper than many other states on this list. And property taxes are also pretty good. The average rate is about 0.56%, which is one of the lowest in the country. Even with insurance, homeowners are spending around $1,500 to $3,200 a year, depending upon the location, risk of floods and tornadoes in that particular area. But the thing is, Tennessee has one of the highest sales taxes in the country. They make up for it in other ways, right? That means every day that you buy things like groceries, clothes, and stuff for your house, all of this is going to be taxed at a higher rate compared to many other states. Now, you may not realize this at first, but it does add up quicker than you might think. And while houses are generally affordable, if you're not aiming for big cities like Nashville, where prices have gone up about 4% in the last year. So if you're looking for really cheap housing, you might consider moving further out into more rural areas, and you might also find cheaper houses, but getting good health care can also be the other side of that, which makes it more difficult. So this is definitely something to keep in mind. Number 2, South Carolina. Now, in recent times, South Carolina has really become a popular choice for people who are retiring. And for many, it's seen as a good alternative to Florida. And this is mainly because the cost of living is generally much better, and the risk of hurricanes is much lower here as well, with 75% fewer hurricanes than Florida. You get a nice, mild 4-season experience here, which means you'll get a little bit of each season without extreme weather that some other states get. And this state has a bit of everything. Along the coast, you've got beautiful beaches. Inland, you've got rolling hills, forests, and lakes. And even when it comes to healthcare, it's pretty solid, especially around the bigger cities. Now, if you're thinking about moving here, there's some important things that you should know. First, the lifestyle in South Carolina can really vary depending upon where you are. So coastal cities like Charleston are lively and tourist-driven, with historic sites like restaurants and plenty of other entertainment and hustle and bustle going on. On the other hand, inland towns have a more laid-back, small-town feel with a strong sense of community. And you also find a lot of retirement communities all around the state that are built for active adults. But if you're looking for a good balance of community activities and coastal living, Myrtle Beach might be the best option for you. Now, when it comes to cost, home prices are still reasonable, with a median home price of around $325,000. And property taxes are just 0.75%, which is among the lowest in the country. And home insurance generally costs between $1,400 and $2,800 a year, but it's generally going to be a little bit higher along the coast. And retirees, they'll get a big break if you move to this state, because once you're 65, that first $15,000 of retirement income is going to be totally tax-free. Overall, South Carolina is a more affordable option, and it's cheaper than Florida, but like everything, it's not for everybody. Number 1 on our list is North Carolina. Now, North Carolina is another state that's pulling a lot of retirees right now, and when you look at it, it kind of makes sense. When it comes to the cost of living, North Carolina is generally going to be pretty reasonable, especially if you compare it to places along the Northeast or in the West Coast. Healthcare is also a strong thing in major cities like Raleigh, Charlotte, and Asheville, which is a big plus for retirees. But North Carolina has a state income tax at a flat rate of 4.5%. Keep in mind that your retirement income is still taxed here unless you qualify for certain exemptions. And there's also some hidden costs, especially if you're living near the coast. Remember, North Carolina is the number 4 hurricane state in the nation, so if you buy a home in the coastal area of North Carolina, you'll likely need extra insurance to cover hurricanes and floods, and this can easily add an additional $1,500 to $5,000 a year on what you're paying for insurance already in North Carolina. And in certain coastal spots like the Outer Banks and Wilmington, North Carolina, you might even need separate windstorm insurance on top of that. Now, another thing to think about is transportation, because it's very limited in some of the smaller towns, which means you're probably going to rely on owning a car and you're going to be traveling a little bit further distances. Also, healthcare is great in the big cities, but you won't find the same services once you get into more remote or rural areas. So look, here's the reality. The reality is no state is going to give you a perfect lifestyle at a super cheap cost. It's just the truth. Every place, it has its pros and its cons. It's up to you to decide which trade-offs you're willing to make based on what matters to you the most. Maybe you want lower taxes. I don't know. Maybe you want warmer weather, or maybe you're being close to a good hospital is really your top priority. So whatever it is, the best state for your retirement will be the one that fits your lifestyle, your budget, and your long-term plans. But here's the thing. Before you pack up and move, it's important to look way beyond the surface and plan carefully. Property taxes, insurance rates, healthcare access, energy bills, HOA fees, all of this stuff can quietly eat into your retirement savings if you're not paying attention. So take your time, do your research. I'm not talking about a Google search, guys. I'm talking about doing real research, and be honest with yourself about what you're willing to trade off. Being realistic now will save you a lot of stress later on. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a house here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where my real estate company is, or anywhere else in the United States, my team is here to help. Just pick up the phone, give us a call at 843-839-9870. We'll hook you up with that local real estate expert, someone who can help you find your hidden gem and guide you through the process and avoid those pitfalls that are costly. Because the deal of the decade actually happens about once a week. I'm Jerry with Jerry Pinkas Real Estate Experts. My team has helped thousands and thousands of people successfully move, and I'm here to help you avoid those pitfalls that are costly. So if you found this video helpful, drop a like on it, give me a thumbs up, go ahead and subscribe for more videos like this. Until next time, stay happy, stay educated, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys.